Okay, this is what we do when Tim's on vacation. Tim, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa.
Your camera.
I never have like any memories where I'm like, oh, like, you know, I couldn't do this like, because of him. Like, it's all like more enjoyable because of him, because he's always happy.
Ready? Go, 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 go. Yeah! Do some more.
I mean, I never really like thought of him as that different. Like, I was always like, he's just my little brother. I kind of like, when I got older, I started to realize that he wasn't growing as big and he wasn't like talking as much as all the other kids his age. But like, I didn't really bother me.
Tim is dually diagnosed, which means he's got Down syndrome. He was born with Down syndrome, and Down syndrome means you've got an extra chromosome on your 21st pair of chromosomes. Fortunately, Tim doesn't have any of the severe physical problems, but certainly has a lot of developmental delays as a result of trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome.
Well, the way that we kind of moved into the diagnosis of autism is Tim wasn't displaying his social skills well. He wasn't really interacting the way other peers with Down syndrome were doing. When he was a baby, he would rock a lot. He would moan a lot, which was kind of an auditory stimulation. And we had him evaluated, and that's when we found out he was dually diagnosed.
Say, I'm loving mom.
Really, when we think about Tim, although he's dually diagnosed, physically, people see him and he's got a lot of the physical characteristics that people with Down syndrome have. But I think when we think about his disability, we really think about him as being autistic.
When Tim was born, one of the first things I remember saying is, okay, well, this is what God has given us, and we have a responsibility, and we're just going to, you know, face this head on.
Let me see you slash.
I think, you know, my husband and I, we kind of tag team, so to speak, to take care of Tim. We help him get dressed. We have to set up his food so he can eat. Everything sort of has to kind of be done for him.
You can do better than that. Well,
You can't break routine with him. Like, you have to do everything in a specific order, otherwise he will not move on to the next step.
Yeah, like a lot of the times my dad will give him a piggyback ride upstairs, then when I have to take care of him, I'll give him a piggyback ride upstairs. And he weighs almost as much as me, so that's kind of hard.
We are always trying to get Tim to independently take care of himself.
Okay, put your backpack on the bench and hang up your coat.
And we set goals to do that all the time, and we've made some progress along the way, which is always exciting. But for us, it's a big deal when Tim achieves something.
and if you think of developmental disabilities, it's developmental delays. It's not you will never do it.
You know, we're lucky. Our bus comes right to our driveway. It would be a big relief, I thought to myself several years ago, if he would just tell me that the bus is here so I could finish up cleaning up the morning breakfast dishes and things like that. Finally, this year, I was standing next to him and he whispered, "The bus is here." And I went, "Excuse me?" He said, "The bus is here." I was thrilled. I didn't think it was going to be for real until the next day when I was standing again and he said, "Mom." Again, that's the autism piece, you know, being trapped in the ability to communicate. He may have known the bus was here for years, but just couldn't say it.
All right, the bus here?
Dad.
Okay.
It can be loud and busy in the cafeteria. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no.
We don't get upset by a lot because, you know, things could be worse, you know. So, you know, we just kind of, I guess, have a little bit different view of the world.
I think that Tim has just like made me more appreciative of things. Like, I know when I was in elementary school and people would talk about like, don't judge other people, I'd always be like, well, why would you? Because my brother is different, but I don't think of him as someone different. Like, I think of him as my younger brother. My favorite thing about Tim is his smile. He smiles all the time.
His calm demeanor, his sweetness. He's so cute, I just have to squish him all the time. And I do.
Like, you can never get mad at him, you can never have an argument. So he's very peaceful and loving.
Yeah. Like, we've fought. The two of us. We've never fought with Tim before. That has never been an issue.
He just loves. I mean, and he just doesn't know any better. You know, it's kind of, there's an innocence to that.
Hey Tim, happy Easter.
You know, we're talking about Timmy, but there are hundreds of thousands of Timmys out there. When Timmy was born, 14 years ago, the incidence of autism in the population was 1 in 165 births. It's now 1 in 66. So this is not going to go away. So, you know, what are we as a society going to do about it?
People with disabilities aren't that, they're not really different. It's just the way that they are. They were born that way.
They just have so much like love for the world and for everyone, and I just think that anybody who gets to meet a child or a person with disabilities should be so lucky, because they will change your life no matter what.
Tim's a gift. He's like one of God's angels on earth. I really do believe that, and because we, not only is it that unconditional love that we talked about, but he brings out the good in so many people.
Pretty grateful that he's in our family.
So we're going to keep him.
Yeah, we'll keep him.